Hello and welcome. This is Laura Alameri, and this presentation I'm doing today on the 7 must-do for real estate investors. And these are tips and recommendations that I suggest that will help you increase your success as a real estate investor. These are things that I found out personally from experience over the years and also working with other real estate investors. The first thing you must absolutely do, and this is the perfect time because it's the beginning of the year, everybody's setting up goals and resolutions, but it's to make a plan, okay? And make some plan that's realistic to you. So, if you want to make $1 million a year in real estate, that's great. But if you have not even know where to start, if you have never learned that, if you have never done any deals, that might not be something that you strongly believe you can achieve this year. So make a plan. Make a plan that's believable to you and stretch it a little bit. So for example, if you want to start closing consistently at least a deal a month in the next 3 months, and by the end of this year you want to have 2 deals a month, then that's what your plan should be. Now, the other thing that you want to do with this plan is reverse engineer it. One of the things I teach with any of my coaching is how, there's some rule of thumb statistically. If you do certain things, it will have to produce certain results. If it doesn't, then something is broken, some link is broken within the system. So that's the thing. So if you want to close a deal a month in the next 3 months, so for example, you have to generate so many leads to get that deal. So, if you use some of my approaches on highly targeted leads, very good quality leads, and you use my marketing approach where we go 4 to 6 points of contact for each lead batch, it might not make much sense to you, I just wanted to know that there is a system to it, then you're going to get that deal, that consistency. You have to do it every month if you're wholesaling. Now, obviously, fix and flip and buy and hold have different strategies. Now, the second thing you want to do is research the markets. And this is different if you're wholesaling, fix and flip, or buy and hold. So any successful real estate investor doesn't jump into this business without really knowing what they're doing, right? And without knowing which areas they want to invest. That would be crazy too if you want to start a rental business and you don't research which areas are the best for rentals right now. So there are a lot of sources online like realtor.org. There's a good one, LoopNet, if you're looking into rentals. They also give you different cap rates for different areas. So do some research and find out which areas are best for rentals right now. Same thing with fix and flip or wholesaling. Where areas there's a lot of activities with investors. So that's the second thing you definitely need to find out. Now the third thing is be honest and transparent. Real estate investors have a bad stigma that, let's face it, they don't have the best reputation. So be different, be honest, be yourself, and be transparent. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with you being a real estate investor. And just by doing full disclosures, you're not going to get yourself in trouble. You're not going to put anybody else in trouble, and that's the best practice. Now, the fourth thing that I suggest is don't try to reinvent a wheel. If you're new to the business, you've never done a business before, or if you're looking to take the business in a different direction, follow somebody that has done it. Okay, so follow somebody and then try to copy or mimic or mirror what they're doing. And so that's the most important thing. It's like, so you don't burn your bridges, so you don't do things that are going to jeopardize your business instead of helping you. So find someone you like and follow them. And how do you find these people? Well, do your research, go to real estate meetings, or maybe people in your area that are very successful in what you want to do, and you want to try to find out as much as you can from them. A word of caution with mentors. There's a lot of mentors. There are a lot of people out there online nowadays that want to teach about real estate investing. And again, don't let that fool you into, if make sure they're the real deal. Make sure that they have the experience, they have been around the block, they have gone through ups and downs in the economy and recessions, that they're not a fly-by-night real estate mentors. There are some of them that are very glamorous. They charge a lot of money to work with them, but still they're not going to give you what you need. So be careful with that. That type of, it's a big business out there about real estate mentors trying to sell their services, but then leaving you out in the dark. The fifth thing is develop your own style and niche. So once you follow somebody and now you know what they're doing, and now you kind of get to the hang of things, then there are some things within the business that will probably interest you more than others. So for example, when I started with real estate, I started actually with buy and hold, and I was doing a lot of taking over lease options, sandwich lease options, and master leases. So I had actually started about lease options, and then I decided that I was going to take it another level and do sandwich leases and master lease and contract for deeds. So I started doing my own spin on things, and then I ran across somebody that he was basically selling the contracts, which is now today called wholesaling. And which, by the way, wholesaling is kind of a newer term. It's been around for about 20 years, and I started before it became mainstream. But so then I started saying, okay, what is this? How does this work? So I saw how he was doing. I wasn't really agreeing the way he was doing it because he wasn't being transparent and he wasn't being very honest about things sometimes. So I decided to take what I learned from him and put my own spin, my own way of doing it, and making sure that my contracts were written legally. I actually even talked to the real estate commission because being licensed, you need to make sure I do things up to par. And so then I developed my own way of finding the properties, and I found that some ways to find properties were better than others. So I really went heavily certain things, and I started selling the contract, but I was doing it in my own way, which is different than anybody else. So like I said, I was a little bit of a pioneer as far as wholesaling is concerned. So I did things before it became mainstream in this business. But again, I put my own spin and my own style. And then you carve your own niche in the market, and you're never going to have to worry about competition. That's the bottom line. The number 6, okay, stay in the business. What does that mean? There is a lot of, and I'm all about integrating technology and tools and automations and all that type of things. That's great. However, I think that in some way we're losing track of what makes you different in the business. When people say to me, there is so much competition out there, my thing is, there's only one like you. There's only one you. So how you differentiate yourself is by leaving your own in the business, by being the brand, by being the face of the business, by being the person that at the end of the day is the face of the business. He's going to take responsibility for signing off at the closing, for communicating with the seller, for coming in when there is a situation that needs to be resolved. Because the sellers and the buyers, they're going to like to deal with a person that they like and trust, and it's you. So eventually you can duplicate yourself. You can have an acquisition manager. You're going to run across people in this business that you are going to be comfortable with, but don't rush into that. Okay, you can duplicate yourself, but do it slowly and do it in a way that really represents you and your brand. Because people forget that this is a people's business. This is definitely people's business, and your personality has to come through. Last and but not least, stay educated. The business is always going to change. Real estate is changing. That's one of the things I like about real estate, is a very dynamic business. You're never going to get bored. No 2 deals are the same. No 2 days are the same in this business. However, things change. People perception, how society look at real estate, how sellers react, how buyers react, what the economy is doing, which strategies work better at any given time, what should you do within the strategy. So the thing is to really stay ahead of the business, the competition, and really never worry about what things are happening, because the economy turns. Honestly, in real estate, if you know what you're doing, you're gonna even make more money on a downturn of the economy. Like the last time, everybody that knew anything went into short sales. So stay ahead of what is going on so that you can position yourself to take advantage and leverage the business in your favor. So stay educated, go to meetings, read, really pay attention out there of what is going on. Set up Google alerts. That's what I do, where I get articles that come in about real estate every day, and I glance through. Sometimes I just glance through the headlines, and if something interests me, then I read through it. Then go to the meetings, hear everybody perceptions of the business, what's going on. Every area is different as well. If you live in the East Coast, West Coast, or Midwest, there are different markets going on. So stay educated so that you can be ahead of what is going on in the industry. So these are my 7 tips, recommendations of must-do for real estate investors. So this has helped you, hopefully, to reframe the way you think about real estate, to really set up goals that are going to work for you. And most importantly, these are really the things that I think are going to make a difference if you abide by them to be successful as a real estate investor. So thank you, Happy New Year, and have a great, successful year in real estate.